the first time. I've got it clear. So we're gonna come back to this. It's something that we need you to do. You have a blue sticky tab at your table. We need you to write. If you will stop for just a second. All right. What is the one resource holding you back at this time? The real estate investing meetings are probably so it doesn't have to be. It can be, hey, I'm going through a difficult time and I just looked at my not being going ahead at the time and pull my hair and I can use some resources. That is not me at all to apply this. I'm going to keep talking, but I just wanted to go ahead so we're moving forward and thinking about that. A little bit as well, you're going to end up sharing that with some people in a second. So I do know that in advance. So if you write something, just be prepared to talk about it. That'd be a big help. So before we go a little bit further, that with us for a while, how about the fact that I guess we call now $10? Yeah. And we do want to take this off because the reason why we're able to get this from our sponsors, we actually have some of those with us today.
Learning this.
It's all good. Or I should say, more accurately stated, we are
Actively solve.
actively. So, let's on here. We go. Hey, Joe, we're just doing the spot. We're going to do the street on the yard, too. Right. You know everybody go. Woo! All right.
Yeah.
I know, right? All right, we're going to go ahead and manage for beyond the then for Atlanta, Georgia. We're now the partner for most development. So when we sit down and we talk to you as an fund and as an investor. We have two sets of point of views when it comes to fund. So it's basically you can structure your ESPR project. George, want to come up here? What? Let's go. Let's give him a round of applause. The big thing with any type of real estate transaction is whether it's builder's risk or landlord. So what's a little bit about?
Well, it's called selling everyone. I try to help every area of all the revenue states around the USA with design insurance for user. Okay, so I go with business landlord policy and
commercial. If any of you guys are also contractors to
on the video.
so if you guys have any questions, we'll be back there. And give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. She's down for a point, so
Yeah.
that's it. And the other sponsors that are with us today too. I know we've got Dave after next week.
I will plug True Sight Home Inspections and I provided the sound system for here in Atlanta. And the True Sight Home Inspection is for your standard residential purchases. And so if you're an investor, you have more than five, probably difficult for you to go check on those. A lot of us, like myself, we don't often look at our houses as much as we would like to or much as we should. I do offer a service where I go and check on your property. You can tell your tenant whatever you would like to tell them who I am. I will even make a custom shirt for you if you need to. But sometimes if you need to know what's inside your home, and the easiest way to do that is to get a third party involved, so that it doesn't get weird that you or property manager are coming over, right? I'm checking this, right? I'm checking to make sure that there's not a weird creature living underneath the house and crawl space. I'm there to make sure that the unit is sound. But what I am going to tell you is, do they have a dog? Yes. Was that dog on the leash? Not my business. I'll let you know they have a dog. Does it smell like Mary Jane? I'm going to let you know. No, right? And get in the attic. I'm going to get in the crawl space. I'm going to let you know how your house actually is. Fred a reduced price. I'm going to pay a full home inspection price because I'm not going to every outlet. I'm not going to hit every switch. I call up your major components, let you know how your investment is functioning and site home inspections can do for you as an investor.
Yeah, just to point that out to help our company just a little bit. At this point in the game, for those of you that have done several houses, I really don't need a page report. I mean, it's great, but I'm ChatGPT and have it break it down for me anyways. But I can do Eric, he's not going to charge me to do a 40-page, but he is going to come in and check the big systems. The thing I like about Eric is I can hire him to go in and just check in my 10 duplex, and I am here. I can get Eric to go in, and while he's looking at property, he's checking out my tenants. I can learn a lot from shameless plug for TrueSight. I think is pretty awesome. So, I want to recognize before we get started, we've got Rob back here, filmmaker Charlotte, correct? Which is super cool. So if you get a chance, make sure you come back here and come meet him. He is awesome. I sat next to him at Billing's Blood Box, which I can continue to push this, but if you've not gone to a seminar, you need to do that, because I got, again, from another seminar, a thick book that had scripts in it, and I'm really proud of this. I called someone about a masterpiece, and I just read Bill, like I just read it, and I've got a week, and I think I'm going to be able to make these too. In other words, that thing already paid its admission. And Jeff, where are you from? Wait, he's from everywhere.
I live most of the time now in Florida, part of the time in Ohio, but I work with Jim Ingersoll on the entire gimmick, and pleasure to be here in Atlanta this weekend.
Jeff is super awesome. He won't sell himself, but if you get a chance and you want to talk to somebody that really knows the game, everything from lending to everything, you should get a chance at network time and go talk about Jeff. He honored me and Adam, letting us eat lunch with him, and that was super cool. And I, like a young whippersnapper, go and ask him random questions, going, yeah, that sounds smart. And then I get back in the car when he gets out, because you don't want to sound good when you're sitting next to someone like Jeff. Now I sit down at my table and I'm like, he said this, he said that. I'm going to write all that stuff down, so make sure you get a chance to come over and ask questions.
Plug for him. How many of y'all have heard about Hero, HERO, that Jeff runs? Yep, I'm an active member, and I encourage you to do so as well. Hero, what does that stand for, Jeff?
It is the political advocacy. It is a political advocacy program on behalf of landlords in conjunction with science coalition that I've been working at right now on Capitol Hill, and changing the laws to make it easier to sell your house.
Jeff is actively involved on DC Capitol Hill and making sure investors protect their rights, and continue doing what we love to do. I've not heard Jeff speak on a speaker to do so, and just meet with him, networking hour, get a little bit, figure out what he does, try to join the Hero movement, because we need everyone that is an active realtor to be on that movement, protect the rights that we have, to continue to do what we do to build a life that will last beyond us. It's all about legacy. It's all about what are our children hearing from us, and he is out to build steps, making sure that our hard work is protected and that our generations do not lose.
Eric's going to take the next slide. Here's our disclaimer as we get ready to get into this. Read it so I make sure I say it. Tonight, Eric and I are sharing stories. They are not meant to represent tax, financial, legal, or advice. Sponsorship's not the same endorsement. Always seek the counsel of the professionals for implementing any strategy or decided. Do not sue me. I cannot predict all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, we just want to really keep that in mind. So before we get going, does anyone in here have some wins that they had the last month? Because I know some of you do. Say it, and I'm gonna call on you and shove this microphone in your face. See this. So one of our manufactured homes, our 2024 model, it was a 1.67 million piece of land in Holman, Georgia. Me neither, exactly. I didn't know where it was, and so I started doing our numbers and our underwriting. And it was definitely a challenging experience, and it's about an hour and a half from where we're at. So just coordinating with contractors, coordinating with the inspections, and the biggest challenge we had was weather. You know, we can't do anything as far as things go when it's wet, and we got snowed in twice, and it snowed in years, right? So that was definitely a huge win for us, guys. So yeah, rock solid. Anybody else got something? Is that shit? Let's go. I got it earlier. I've got 2 minutes to share. This week, we our chairman of the subcommittee on financial services is introducing a bill to help you right. It's going to expand Dodd-Frank and self-financing. And the other is I'm a co-GP in a large multi-family property in Athens, Ohio. That's Ohio University. We are 100 full. We have raised the rents $1 per door again. So we've only for 23 months, we've raised rents $50 a door. 153 doors, 53 doors. Because there's a amazing operations team there on the ground. And right after we bought it, I spent it. Now listen to me, landlords. Your people that work with you, treat them well, and they will be so loyal. They'll be so loyal. I went there, I spent a day with them. They're stunned that an owner actually showed up. They called next week to say cell phone. They were grateful for the change in health insurance, the better education, all that other stuff that was now becoming available to them. And they have kept that place full. And part of it is because of the location. The university is over in students again, and we're going to benefit. What's their mascot? Is that that's not the Sooners? That's Oklahoma. The Buckeyes. Don't you're confused. The Ohio University Bobcats versus the Ohio State that are the number one team. There it is. You know this, right? Anybody from Texas know this? Hook 'em Hornets, right? It means that lost twice in 2025.
Any more wins out there? More wins. It could be a small, could be that you're here at this meetup, the very first real estate investor meetup. You are promising that you will do better for your future generation.
Well, I shared one already that I came back, but there's another thing I did as well. This state where I'm at, I'm really borrowing money. Basic burst strategy, refinance, repeat. But because of what I learned and what some of you in the room told me, I originated my very first loan.
Let's go.
Yeah. And now that I originated my first loan phase was paid back because I'm nervous about it. But you know, we jumped in, we did it. Woo! Here it comes. I'll go over. Thanks for having me. Appreciate something like that. What you guys do here. Also, there was an investor that I had been working on for the past year and a half, and it's just this past week I finally to find a way to deal with him to JV.
Looks like it's gonna be a nice little relationship we have got going, and it'll be very prosperous moving forward. It took me a year to work on. Finally got the sign.
Let's go. So let's move. So we had you write down a second. We always time for you to kind of talk to the next to you. And by the way, TTP, we're going to tell you what that means. That's the phrase for tonight. So I want to take this. You wrote down in a single word, what is the one resource holding you back? This I want you to talk about with your table really quick. I want you to share the word or what you wrote down. And after everyone has had a chance to discuss it. And the rules of the discussion are very simple. Every word is valid. We're all in different stages of the game. When I went to my first Zake meetup, shameless plug for my friend over here, Danny Williams, who runs Triple E. If you don't know about Triple E, you can talk to Danny because his meetup is where I got started. I would have been here if it weren't for him. I showed up in the room and my first been scared. I'm going to lose everything. So I look around the room, maybe your word, that's okay. So just keep in mind, every word is valid. And try to see, for those of you that are a little bit along in your investing game, if you're part of this about ideas. Does everyone understand the mission? Don't do it. TJ, you're all alone. I'm coming to you.
No, he's going to.
Come on, come here, TJ. Looking at Jamal.
There it is.
That's it.
All right, all right, all right. Back. Don't worry, we're not making any full group. Hopefully, that's not that valuable. I won't say every table has its own thing. I will say, I just heard them share something at my table, and when that person said it, I was like, my thing is, I feel that way too. It's good to know I'm not the only one who, in our case, it was a licensed agent talk. I was like, I'm glad to know I'm not had a few sitting a little bit longer because I cried tears. So that's a story for another day. I sat on a table and had a session. So each we get together, I like to share something that myself or Eric has gone through, or that we've read, or just something. I'm not going to tonight, but I came across this really kind of life advice in general. It's on Audible, and it's building your marketing business. And TJ here admitted it to me, and I thought it was about network marketing. It had nothing to do with network marketing, and everything to do with network marketing. But here's 5 things from it. It's interesting. It's $7 on Audible. It's an hour-long webinar, and I have listened to it 6 times. A few things that Jess, number one, work success to attract others and you become. I want to throw that out there for you. Come on, you first. Number two, wish for it, work. That's what I like to say. Jim said it this way: wish, improve, and then he spoke to me. He said, "I think it was easier. Wish you were better." Now that hurt my feeling. And said it, but I wrote it down because I need to quit wishing that it was easy and wish that I was better. Theme you're going to hear tonight. Hey, I'm going to do that thing. Hey, one meeting. Rachel, one meeting. All right, number 3. Play the numbers, sort quickly, and move on of averages. That's something I've learned here. How I'm getting deals. I mean, it's been a complicated year, but I've got more doors this year. Granted, I'm a small business. I'm not a guru. You got to think I've only been 3 years. I don't want to oversell this. I had someone go, "Hey, you don't know anything. Just write numbers." I don't know if that's a secret, but if you're writing off people, you get a deal done on an offer you didn't write. Disciplines. I've got it blocked out every time in my day, and that's my time to calls and talk. We're going to talk TTP. And number 5, I was learning from others. So that you had to take and ask somebody something and learn from it. And I've never come to me, this one or the other, that I didn't learn from something. So I highly suggest $7 to spend. And even if you're like, I'm not in marketing business, it's totally worth it. So thank you, TJ, for putting it. All right. You ready, Eric? Let's do it. So speaking of general, this is what we're going to talk tonight. Now we're talking tonight about a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house where everyone else is looking for it. Because in the survey that we did a few months ago, this case was the number 3 highest listed thing. This all sounds great, but I could never find that house. It doesn't actually exist. Here's something I want to start when we talk about, we're going to talk a little bit about the wins. The wins of life hit every single one of us in this room. The wins of disaster will hit you. The wins of, by the way, if you've never bought your first house, taxes affect you today. Your rent is going up. Why? Because our properties keep getting assessed. Rent is paying my taxes. Thank you for your contribution. Every time my taxes go up, there's more rent. You are the wind disasters of taxes are affecting you. House catches on fire. I got my very first IRA business name. It wasn't just because supposedly I paid in late, which I didn't, and sent them a receipt, and life is fine. And my very first crap, I had a small panic attack. feel like I accomplished a new badge of courage. The moral of the story where I'm going is that the ends of life all of us, but it's not the life that determines how far you go. It's the set things. And we're going to talk a lot about mindset. So I can paraphrase this with if you're expecting us to go in here, find a way to get this house that's ever thought of. It's a secret that we on top of Mount Sinai and go to Moses, who carved it on a tablet that Eric and I found to not bring it to you. You're going to be extremely disappointed. The end game of this is I suggest that if you want the properties, do the basics, do them well, hold the line, and don't stop doing them. You want successful, do small things well, you're selling in the right direction.
You mentioned that tablet was found in Jackson County, Missouri. Have you know that the Garden of Eden?
Is it really?
Quoting the Book of Mormon.
Okay, all right. Didn't know that. There we go. So what we're doing tonight is we're breaking down transactions. Now, what's up, bad? Lane, you get the.
Susan and Adam are here. Round of applause.
So I say that to say tonight again. It's not coming from a good direction. But picture of houses and how I bought. I'll tell you how we did them. And I believe I'm speaking. I think for you and some of your stuff. Actually, you're going to see most of them are only in the last 12 to 13 months. I think that was 20 months ago, but almost all of these, and it's just doing the basics work. We put 3 under contract in the last 60 days, doing basic things really well. Let's get started. Very first one, and I want to start with this one. It's the one I'll pick on most, and you should not. The source was the MLS. That's when you're looking on the MLS. If you don't know what MLS is, multiple listing service, you would call it Zillow. I love Zillow. Real estate agents hate Zillow, and they're all wrong. I love it. I love Zillow. Here's the problem though with Zillow thing. If you're doing this, look for this. The photos are really bad. The listing wasn't. When I called the agent to ask about it, they proceeded to tell me everything wrong with property. I was in a bad neighborhood. It was not true. Clearly we're not from now. Because if you know anything about the village, there are 3 builders out there that are gentrifying the neighborhood, buying them and improving them quickly. And I just told you that's out. Now, some of you are going to know about it. Here's a thought for this little house right here. A house at 100. It raised, I think recently about 180, 190. I haven't held it long. My principal interest on it is right at 950, and on it is 16 a month. So I say that to say, if you're not looking on the MLS, the broker you're listening to the podcast that's telling you that nothing on Zillow is good and no good deals get there, here's a little pro tip for you. Go to the nastiest, ugliest houses that have really horrible pictures and know that corporate buyers aren't looking at those. Don't be scared to make a phone call if it is overpriced. The phone, quiz the agent on the other side. Because there are hundreds of real estate agents. I'm now picking on my own, but I love it when I pick up the phone and I call them. Rachel's like, I got a sting in my house. I go, they're weak-minded. I got it. Yeah. Look, can't talk about this. There are good real estate agents out there, guys, working with that ones. But no, look, but for real. Something else to think about though, if call and they don't call you back, money. Because guess who else are not calling back? They're not calling anybody that get persistent. Keep calling the crap. One pro tip though, if you don't know, don't call the phone number that's in Zillow, the actual agent of the house. That is just a pay for your lead and probably get someone. What you do is you get on the house, you look at pictures, and then what I tell you it's actually some small print. But if you go to, if you scroll and look for the agent says Jen, and then Google search that person and call them, they're more likely to actually talk with you because they actually get paid. Whereas the Zillow person's paid, but significantly less than that person. So just a little pro tip. Any questions about that basic one? But I'm amazed at how many people walk away when we've done 2 or 3 from that way. Yes.
One more tip on that.
This is true. It's true.
If you're not an agent, it's not what you.
Yep. And then you can look up, you can skip tracks too and figure out the property on the door, knock it. Yeah.
I'd like to add a few things to this. All of the things that I'm going to share tonight about my portfolio. Some of them we've sold, some of the whole. But the majority, 60% of my portfolio over the past 10 years from the MLS. And I'm going to share one of the last slides what our criteria was on Zillow and Redfin and all the other mighty MLS secondary listing sources. What we searched for, how it came to be. Josh was accurate when he says bad picture. Here last month, you heard about the deal I did up in Georgia on those two Airbnb cats. We bought $100,000. They're worth $2.4 million today. I'm all in at 700. The pictures were horrible. The listing description was inaccurate. The listing description said 11 acres and 2 teardowns. I renovated this. They're still living. I only 4 acres, not acres. There is gold in listings on MLS. Gotta know how to look for it. The pictures were horrible. One of the cabins.
Speaking of finding something on the end, because it kind of goes with an opportunity, that deal you was talking about. You purchased one property that had two what looked like two cabins, but then you did something with an area line that took something you found us and turned it into a deal, right?
Yes, I
About that really, because that's a strategy that.
So it's 2 cabins on one lot, 1 4-acre lot. And when I went to refinance, it said we'll take the other one's an additional dwelling unit. And I said, okay, let's go to the cabin. It said 750,000. That's correct. I will divide. So I divided the property into an acre parcel, 3 acres. That's what allowed me to get an extra $700,000 equity.
So somebody doing, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm just following what Eric did. I have not done yet, but our things have started for. If I can find a property, 2 or 3 structures on it, the acre is 5 acres or more. I know there'll be an opportunity to subdivide that out, and I haven't done yet, but that's on my list. I'm actually searching for right now.
Absolutely, that's a great thing.
What do you do? Have to be done on residential, and you have to go to the township and have it approved? How do you do that?
So Tina, is there a certain, like, what's the process of subdividing? You basically go on QPublic and draw imaginary lines where you think they should be, and draw up. You should find a local surveyor in the area that understands that. The easiest way I found to do that is go to where you bought the property and look at the deed book. Look who surveyed it last. If it was within 5 years, call that surveyor. Call that surveyor and say, hey, you surveyed this in 2019. Maybe survey it, break it in half. That gets you someone that understands the municipality. They understand what the requirements are for road frontage, a minimum square feet on acreage. They understand all. You just send them your imaginary lines that you took a screenshot and a little bit of just scribbling on the pictures you took a screenshot of. You send it to them, say, kind of look like this. Okay, how much acreage do you want on each? I'll say 1 and 3. Say, okay, it'll be $1,500. And that's basically how it went. I do have a really fun story shared tonight about how my survey done in 10 days versus the 60 days they quoted me. Very creative. I used a lot of it, but we're able to get that done in days and be appraised from the initial side of the appraisal within 14 days. But yes, that's what you got to do. Find a surveyor in that town that understands the municipality and requirements, and draw it up the way you want it, and send it to them. They're gonna, before they charge you, they think it's gonna pass. They're gonna tell you it's likely that it'll pass the zoning board. There's not a guarantee. I had some issues with the city manager in Helen, and he had a lot of neighbors. He said, I don't care what it looks, send me a drawing and I'll stand. So could have done anything. That is not on here. You follow? What's the depot? So if you go to any municipality, you go into their courthouse, you say, I'll put your resident, your depot. They're going to have literally like a library and almost a Rolodex, or what do they call that? We'll call that old school system. I need to look at the and it'll tell you where it's located in the library. It's going to be a binder. You flip to your page. That's going to be the description. And sometimes not all of it map of that's the depot. And a lot is available at GCSS. Have enough S's in there? GSCCC. Yeah. You can see that part of that. It is a paid subscription. Yes. I get the favors. They cost me almost $100,000. They went backwards on an approved building permit. Try and spin it, but yes. I got some tax out of it as well. Yes. Say again? Into 14 quarter-acre lots. But there's a lot of complexity. Yeah. All right, so let's move on. Let's move forward. Hopefully, we'll generate even more questions moving forward. This property is one that I'm currently doing right now. This is not a this is a neighbor find. I was selling the next door. Josh was listing agents on it, and listing for sale sign went up in the yard, and I was over there doing a couple jobs. And the neighbor across the yard, I was like, "Hey, you the owner?" I said "It's." They said, "Well, yeah." I said, "Yeah." It depends. My right? I said, you let me know who your listing agent is, because I think I want to sell mine. You don't need to call them. He said, I need to sell this house. Let's go on. He said, well, the owners are my daughter's godparents. I was like, that's out. Let me step back. How can I help you? He said, I have power of attorney to sell. They are both in a nursing home. They have told me I could sell the house. I want to sell that. It's okay. How much do you want for it? He's like, I don't know. How much would you give me? Take a walk. So I walked through the house. It's horrible. The plaster's falling in. Rooms are covered, floor to ceiling, 14-foot ceilings, almost filling junk. It was horrible. It looked bad. It was bad. And I was like, man, I don't know. I paid $60 for the house next door for 5 years. I can't do $16,000. I can't sell for anything less than $20,000. Okay. $100. That sounds great. I want to buy it. Seriously? They lost this month's May. Did one thing. What did I let happen first? I let him say $120,000. I have a starting point. So there was a lot of conversation that went, oh, Randy, I noticed that your electrical was out of wiring. I said, we did a walkthrough. Man, it's just going to cost me $25 to get this house rewired. I can't sell this. Okay. I will verbally, we'll do $100,000. Verbally agree. A lot of negotiating. Closing property, $60,000. Right? A big, he told me what he wanted at $20,000, right? I knew I wasn't paying more than 7. I knew I couldn't. I'm going to flip it and sell it. And I knew my house was not going to sell for as much as it cost for the property. And so I told him, and eventually I can own 60. He said, okay, let's do 60. And there was a lot of weirdness in there. Power of attorney does have the ability to sell, but they don't have the ability to profit. So the closing things like, hey, maybe gonna check out the meeting. Actually, no. Check gets missing to the seller. You were just the power for the seller. So it's written. So the check was made out to her. She got the funds. He is the full attorney. He opened a bank account with her name. Transferred. But this is when you're at one of your properties, or if you're at just looking around, don't be hesitant to talk to the people that are there. If you're in a subdivision and you're going to walk the neighborhood street, right? If there's one house for sale, there's like another house for sale, right? There's like people in their front yard thinking of selling their house, especially those houses that over on lawns, windows busted out, roofs needing repair, things like that. Down in that neighborhood, when you're looking at that house, and talk and say, hey, that house is listed on the street, you're thinking about buying it and everything. And you're just asking, how's the neighborhood? Do you like this neighborhood? You're likely going to find the one in that neighborhood knows everybody in that neighborhood that is on the HOA or at least knows every single person.
It's always Betty. It's a little lady person.
Shows that John and Samantha at 22 are getting a divorce. No one else knows it, but she knows it. I can sell the house. And she's going to tell you, oh, did you hear? Do you hear what he did? Tell me about it. I'm going to go talk to John. I'm going to there and talk to John and say, hey, I'm going to buy a house listed down the street. How do you like this? He's going to love you and tell you, I love the neighborhood, but I have to move. Right? Buy his house. Right? What comes to the point to the head of talk to people. You got a voice. I don't care how close you are talking to people, you have to open up. It's just that simple. Question. Do you want to sell your house? Don't know anyone in this looking to sell their house. Right? That right now, I got it for $60,000. The renovation is a $45,000 renovation. We're about $185,000. That is empty. That property, and I'll be glad to share on our Facebook group, is a 2-bedroom, 1,150 square feet, 1 bath. We have converted it into a 3-bedroom, 2 bath, giant primary suite, 2 kitchen, tiny living room, tiny rooms. But who buys the house? We all know that answer. That's who we are trying to attract there, right?
And his pretty firm called the one next door that's almost exact. This is actually going to look better than
much better
assault next door.
That is a 2. The one that were the 2-1 sold for 145-ish, right? And so that was a 2-1, not that great of an update. This one will be very updated than 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So we're very confident in that 185. All right, Josh.
Yes, we talk again. I think a theme. I mean, we got some more fun ones coming up. It's basics, do things and do them extremely well. So this sword here was a little pro tip, and there's people in the room that they aren't like. I've done the thing where, and Eric's done this too. Find places where real estate agents meet and ask them if you can show up and talk at their meeting. Like I know you a couple. We've got a great group that leads. TJ's got a group of us. We'll have people come speak to us. I've got to the point now. I show up at these meetings because I want the agents to know that when I buy houses, if you find that house that it can close and no one else do the deal, let me do it first. I'll close with cash. I'll close quickly. And so we've gotten to the point that the KW office in Scout through will reach out. I mean, he's got a text message service at this point. If the real estate agents know that you close deals, guys, you can close before anyone else gets them. I got the point now. Adam's here. They've done a couple of brag on Adam. Now here's a little thing. I'll send it to Adam because I know he starts business, he closes it. That's a little real estate agent talk for you. Well, don't waste my time either. If I and my contract fell, my seller, excuse my language, pissed, and I got a problem. I need to get out of this, and I need to get it quickly and gracefully. Make an agent mad time. If I know somebody that the numbers work and I know numbers are, and I can send them the deal and they're because they got a buyer, I'll send it to you, and no one else will even know the contract fell through. I think will fall through, and 2 years later, that deal is sent to you. That is how we got. Here's the problem. The house in the inspection didn't just have a little termite hit. It was the whole dang wall. When I say the whole dang wall, it was the whole dang wall. In addition to the termite, they also found that it had asbestos inside. It's not a problem when you seal it, but when you got to correct the termite problem, it has to come up. And they did what they were going to do is financing in the world, and no one was just this little bitty mill house. They had it previously under contract at 180. We were 4. We put it into it, and it appraised at 250. Which that there's a whole. If you're curious about being a triple E, I shared one time about a septic thing story for today. That was the house where wrong. After that, I called Eric crying, going, "I just bought a house, and this house is septic, and I don't know him, but just ask me later, and I'll tell you a funny story that they were there and they were literally digging random holes and you found septic. We don't know where it was going. Somewhere there's a pile of crap, but anyways." I say, give every real estate agent you can, because the agents in the county, they know deals, and if I'm closing it, they know that people close deals, and that is what I will tell you. Here's a fun little fact out there. Is this legal? Is it illegal? I don't know. Maybe you do with it what you will, nor am I do. But at Christmas time, I got a couple friends that send me a Christmas card, and it has a Starbucks gift card in it. Maybe. Does it help send them deals? I mean, it's not so legally that ethical. I can't say that I would do that because but randomly, if I know that they're going to close and I get a Starbucks gift card, I mean, might I slide into them? Maybe. Just throw it out there for you that your agents and my fun fact about agents though. Not every agent's the same. They will all lie to you and tell you that they're investor agents. With one, this is the question you ask. Hey, I hear you're an investor agent. That's deals. I have to get with you and go, can we go drive and see your properties? You just eliminate all estate agents. That goes, weird question. What are you doing on Saturday? Go for a drive. At that point, you got someone, and just like we're all in the community, they probably know other people too. So also, they did wisely, but we've bought couples this way now. So
I also sell houses from an agent that we use consistently, house over house, and we would get pocket listings. Right? I know what pocket listings are. That sounds great.
There's one on the table from my beautiful wife that is not on the market yet. Just want to throw that out there. A little shameless plug. Apartments in Franklin that we just got yesterday. We haven't put a little shameless plug.
Well, those pocket listings, like the one on your table, definitely keeps those birthday cards coming. Yes. Right here. Where's the younger, skinnier, beardless version of me?
Were you like me?
I'm basic. This was not 19 months ago. This was about 5-6 years ago, somewhere there. Where did I house for my granite supplier? Problem. The owners needed Kate. The divorce says living in a house, but the ex was the owner of complicated one right there, right? How military training event in Virginia, and I have two flips going on while I'm up. And it was on the Gantt chart. It's time to schedule granite up. Hey, Miss Becky, it's time for a template over an X property. Yeah, Becky, how are you doing? It's so long. I just want to check in on you. What's on with your life? I knew that she was very active in her kids' life. She was very active in the church. She was very active in the school TA and all of that. And I occasionally would send her gift cards and donuts to the granite house because she really took a great care of me, doing sometimes 3 to 4 deals a month where we were doing a lot of granite, and she would work really hard to make sure nothing happened when it didn't happen. And so I asked her, Becky, how's everything? Eric, I have to move to Virginia. I was like, whoa. I'm gonna buy my granite from them, right? This relationship was very important to me, and to me was very important to her. And she said, "Well, I have to move to Virginia. My new friend got a job there. We're gonna get married, and I have to move up there." It's like, oh, that sounds very exciting for you. It sounds great. I don't know what to do with my house, and I know you buy a lot of houses, and I know you do that. I said, well, why are you telling me this? How long have you known? She's like, last year. I was going to call you today. I'm so glad you called me. Well, Becky, how can I help? Well, my ex-husband is on title owns the house. It is in horrible shape. I think I'm put together, but please don't come look at my house. So Becky, let me tell you something. I gotta come look at your house. I gotta come see it because I want to buy your house. So this house will show up. There was furniture in the basement. No joke, furniture floor to ceiling. She must have yard sale every weekend. She wasn't such. She was buying, right? And it was floor to ceiling. The basement flooded a lot. Often, every time it flooded. Not a lot, just inch or two on the ground. Does fabric do when it floods? It picks it up, and it spreads. So the whole thing was like at least a quarter inch of black mold throughout. I was like, how do you? And ask it. I was thinking, how do you live here? How do you live here? How are you doing this? But I didn't. I said, thank you on your house. I love your house. Amazingly beautiful house. What about it for me? She said, you would buy this? Absolutely. I said, I have an eye for design. I have an eye for what's to come for this viewers that you've spent years with. You've made countless memories in the house. I can see it on the walls. We measured there. I can see it on the fridge with all the pictures of what's done in this property. I want to bring it back. At that time, in 2018, 2019, worth about $185,000. I'm fixed up. It would be fine. I offered her $75,000 for it. She said, Eric, I can't do that. My ex-husband still owes us $80,000 property, and I need at least $80,000 to pay off my van to move up to Virginia. Sorry, let's do it. I'll give you $95,000. Thanks, I said, I'll give you $95,000 for this property. But I need you to do a favor. I need you to talk to your ex-husband, please, and let him to. I need you to let me make the payments for him. So that's what we did. I ended up taking this property to I gave $1,000 cash. And I renovated, made it beautiful again, and appraised it $325,000. I only put $30,000 into it, of which $10,000 was mold remediation. That's really all it was. It was just really cluttered, and it had mold. So I decluttered it, painted it, got some new granite in there, thanks to Becky, and got the mold out, and paid out the underlying, got subject to really quick. I only sold that property for 8 months. But we were able to get out of this property an infinite because we had no cash in the deal. Made about $100,000 cash of equity out of this deal. Still on it today. This is an amazing project. So what does this teach you? And the tools in your toolbox can make or break, and it'll make or break your ability to close the deal. People, in general, people are my greatest assets because it's the connections I make, it's the rapport that I build over time that I'm a problem solver. I actually care. I'm not just showing you that I act like I care. I actually care. I actually care about Becky. I follow her on Facebook. I love to see that she's doing well. She has a new house. She's married. Her kids are 7th, 9th, and I think 11th grade. I comment on a lot of her posts, and I love what she's doing well. And I also love that I'm doing well. I have an amazing there now, Miss Shonda, and she's raising children in that house because it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. We converted it to a 5-bedroom, 4-bath. And so now she's able to raise children in that home, create countless memories. And Becky now knows this being used again to create memories.
Something to take away too, and this might, I don't want to speak for Eric, but why would someone like Eric go get a home inspection license? My same reason to the deal I'm lending on Alex, him, was an inspector who went to the house. He goes in lots of houses, goes in, and if they're bad shape, offers, gets them under contract, and will keep them wholesome out. The big takeaway here is, can you find 3 twos that no one else knows about? These inspectors, or in this case, a Granite home inspector. I found one from a plumber. Tiff Carter, we were talking to the other day. She's got an inspector in Franklin. Knows that she's the person that closes deals, and they call her home and they go, "Hey, guess what? You can't tell because this is against the rules. They're breaking laws. I can't tell you what's in there. Tell you that this electrical is not up code, and she's gonna have to sell the house, but she can't think. And I happen to know she's gonna have to sell it for this." Well, now somebody got up at the house on the market, and in these situations, a person that doesn't know they're going to put it on the market yet, they're going to have to, and now relationships are forming. That one is actually really huge, because in a world where I believe are saying things on the MLS, these guys right here know things. Fine inspectors, or case of Granite. If I don't want to steal, I just want to make sure that they're like Jedi. I hope it comes out okay. You're welcome. Some of math at me. This is how Rachel and I purchase most of our properties. Not 9%, probably 60%, 50%. I don't care that you hate my social media. I don't care that you get on the ground and you see my funny face going, today I'm about 5 things that buyers and sellers really care less what you think about me. Sometimes I get on there and I'll post it, blah, 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 blah. And the buyer's guide for investors is go to my Instagram profile and look at it. You don't know. This one right here is where I find most of my houses. If you're on Instagram, not getting a generation thing, although fun fact, folks that are like 20 years older than me and they're on social media, it's not everybody's thing. But can we just realize that all these people 30 years of age, since the last 2 years, that we know they can't afford, they're all making, just as data from the Department of Labor, they're all making an average salary of $70,000 or less. They all just bought 300,000 homes and all just paid an interest rate of 8%. Guys, these young people can't buy houses, and the greatest opportunity to buy houses is about to hit, because I'm going to have to lose them. And if you're in the right place, I'm not saying I feel for them. It's not my fault they made that bad decision. They shouldn't have made it. But where are those people at? They're on social media and argue. There are 2 generations that are got one generation done a lot of hard work. They built this country. They built their wealth, and they're ready to go as they should. This generation over here selling off some of their houses. And side notes, I don't want to say old, the seasoned generation, go meet them because they're mentors that we all sit around. But guys, they built their business through stuff far worse than us. Like say 7%, somebody that's 70s, 80s, and they're like, I was investing in real 10% interest rates. But over here, while I'm on the social media thing, are all these 30-year-olds that are stupid and incredible opportunities. So I say that social media. The more awful your posts look, the better. Do not get on Canva and make your cutesy graphic, because I'm literally dying. Go to my Instagram, JRB3, and laugh at it, because it is gosh darn awful. It is literally and a teleprompter. And I told the chat GPT that crap, not smart, just freaking reading it because I'm stupid. And I just talk to them. I say, are you in front of their mind at the way they want to sell? Why do I make it as opposed to 3 times all the time. Us, the day that they look at that, they're not selling. I just need one of them the day that they decide that they're interested in selling, because the Georgia Department of Labor Statistics tell me all these people under the age of 30 are to sell, or maybe refinance, have the credit score to refinance. So they're going to sell. They got it. And with that in mind, the day that all those little teeny boppers were just for Instagram reels. Pause. If you make an Instagram post, only your friends see it. A pro tip for people like TJ taught me this. If you create an Instagram reel, that is the only thing on Instagram that people that aren't your friends. So you need to make it as a reel. You just keep putting it out there. Don't know what to say nothing. Just keep it out and we'll keep seeing it. I've done enough transactions, and I'm not even smart. I'm clearly not attractive. I only have 800 followers, and I think we're 4 or 5 houses this way. So I say this, I quit preaching. We have 3 houses directly with social posts, and a couple other people who saw someone that saw the post mentioned. So this topic, you've heard me talk about the house road. They taught me never buy a house that you're going to fool, because the holding cost on the. Thank you to all of you who told me not, and I did it anyways. I should listen to you. Never ever buy a house to flip that has a pool. I'll never do it again. That house right there, though, the couple that had it, they had this house. They couldn't take care of it. It was falling apart. It was more how to do. The neighbor next door, we weren't even best friends. But they saw our post on social media. Actually, yours, Becca, that she saw this happen, and she sends us a message. Oh my God, our house next door looks like an empire lives there. The cats are all around, and the bunny. I'm pretty convinced that like the smell can be smelled 2 acres away from the rest, pulling all of our property values down. If I set up the meeting, will you come? And I'm like, cat pee. It smells like money. Let's go. We went over, and first off, the couple was really, really nice. There were just some things that happened. They couldn't take care of the house. I negotiate? No. I did the thing Eric said. I just go, well, what do you want for it? They said, oh, man, could you give us 155? At the time I bought this house, it's a couple acres with a pool on Roscoe Road in Macedonia. I knew the house was $390. I was like, will I spend it? I just don't know. I can't do that for you. Social media. The next one, this little house. Show this house. One I just finished. I almost got Joe to lend on it, and I should have stayed because I was working. I got to shout out to. I called Duke out, and I screwed this up. We were talking about a really good rate, and I suckered in by another lender who I will they're not here because I'm saying it's teasing interest rate, and then refi closed, changed on me, and I was literally back there telling Joe I should have stayed because your deal was better, but stay. This little house right here though, was on social media. She had a problem. The problem is this was her mother was getting on up age. She was going to be able to do with this little house in the Arco Village that was only like 1 bedroom. Bless her heart, 90-year-old mother lived there. She was scrolling through social media because I had no idea we never met each other. Popped up, and there was this weird dude, and she was at work when she showed it to her friend, who be a real estate agent at a mother broker. She goes, I know that guy. That guy right there, he buys anything. I don't know what he's doing with crap houses. You should call him. And Shirley, she called me because I'm the guy that can smell like crap houses, and I roll up. We showed up, walked through the house. I said, well, what is it? What is it going to take? You really want 70,000. Now this one was more than the end of the story, but we just had it just appraised that one cent. We turned it into a two, and I had to sign for $1,500. A little 2-1. Now, just like literally, this is the one that we just because Keith landed on it with certified lending. But this is the house right here. We just put a roof on it. It still looks like crap. We just bought it too though. And you saw that. That is all like, here's something else too. For those of you that have a project, why is it that if you're following me on, I do that lane little Instagram or that Facebook Live where I'm walking through the house. You experienced people are literally making fun of me going, this is so stupid. What is he doing? Your target audience. I know on Facebook Live that everyone I see does 5 people on their outer extremities. They show the live to. Number of people that are coming to my lives. Here's what I do. I look like I'm high. I'm high. I don't do drugs. I don't do drugs. That's me. Hey, I don't know. But wow, that's a really bad photo. That is literally me just through talking about my house, and I do these weekly updates. Fun fact: the reason why I do them. Number one, my mom thinks it's cool. But then number two, I love my mom. I'm getting business off of this. Every time I have a house, here's my goal. When I get I'm going to do 5 live streams at points in the process. Example, by the end of this weekend, you'll know if you follow me, I'm gonna do another one on that house. But all I'm doing is I want a lot of houses. And the uglier, the better. Anyone in the room could do it. And I literally didn't know how to do it. Hand the phone to my son and go, I don't know how to hit live. Can you help me find it? And it's stupid. Here it is. And he hands me the phone. I was like, hi. So anyways, I'll bear it because I realize I just talk a lot. I get it just because I'm making money. Instagram got me equity.
I have been taking your lead up and making more reels lately. Just it's to showcase what you're doing to people that don't know what you're doing. But it's more than just eat. To showcase what you're doing. It's to showcase. That's something I'm going to recapture at the end of this. You got to speed up just.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I don't.
That's something else. I'm not even smart. I'm not a trainer. I have 8 hours, but houses.
But it's so everyone you know within your knows what you were doing. That is so important. Here you go. I'm going to move this one a little fast. The source deal with my brother's right. I don't know my brother Parker. My brother no dude right. We're that close, but we're close enough that he knows that I'm safe. The problem. This house was by the owner was the brother, the deceased.
I thought you were saying it was deceased. I was like.
I do have it as right? So he was working with a guy that is now the, I forget what you would say, the executor of for this property. The issue is that this brother was very close to his brother, and he could not bear to enter it. The gentleman died, and his wife died 2 weeks later in the house with him still in it. It was a very difficult situation. The man, 2 weeks later, his wife died. Both still in the home. Not found until the brother came to check on him, and found them both in the living room recliners. Passed away. This house, beautiful from the outside, faces Lake Ridge in Georgia. Beautiful neighbor, beautiful property. On the inside, stain of nicotine on the inside. Yellow everything. It's yellow. There's not a piece of anything in the house that wasn't covered with the sick. Have any of y'all ever experienced a house covered in nicotine? It's slick. It's like the hardwood floors slick, the ceiling yellow, the walls, the lights, the furniture, everything is yellow. And so my brother calls me and says, Eric, I know if you want to deal with this, but my buddy, he's retiring next month, and he told me his brother died, and sell the house, but it's full of stuff. His brother and his wife passed away in the house. They're gone, but all their stuff remains, and he came to the property. So I made a call, talked to the guy, and it really hurt him out. And I was able to hear him out. Very too. I was able to hear him in his grief and be there for him. And that's where your heart and compassion, along with your solutions, will help you close deals like this. I was able to hold space for him. I was able to stand with him in his grief outside the front of the house, him unable to go through the front door and talk to him on how we do this deal. And came to was that I made him multiple deals. How many of y'all have heard of the multiple argument? give you a cash offer, I can give you an offer, right? Or we do some other creative strategy. I gave him an offer, a two, give him the cash and a deal. And he went with the cash deal because he said, no longer think about the problem, no longer do it. The cash offer was $118. Now at the time, this house was worth $1,000. At the time, $118,000, clean it out, I refurbish it, I rehabilitate it, so. And financing offer was much better. It's $100,000 over the course of 20 years. He did not like that. His emotions were completely overtaking his ability to about money. He was already entering retirement. He was ready to that stage in his life. I could see that. I could see where he needed this Band-Aid ripped off. $180,000, renovated the property for $20,000, sold it for $370,000. That deal funded 5 more deals for me. Now they say, hey, you're gonna selling every deal you ever sold. Granted, look at today, the house $685,000. I do feel a certain pain about it, right? Because I was all in 280, 250-ish. And it's worth $600,000 a day. But do I feel bad that I sold house? Actually, I don't. Because the momentum of the time led toward 5 more investment property, which led toward a ton exchange on 2 properties, which led toward cap and Helen, which led toward $1 million equity gain. Don't regret every house you sell. Very strategic what you do sell. Why did I sell this one? More than 75 miles from my home. It was farther away than I wanted to manage. And it was not short-term rental. So I made a decision in good that it was not in my buy box, and that's why it was. So revisit your heart and confidence. It has to be genuine though. You have to actually feel it. You feel it. Don't get like you feel sorry for somebody. Genuine emotions with people, with sellers, with potential sellers. Connect with them on a human and spiritual level, and it will open doors.
Does anybody notice a theme of these so far? I hope so. Have you noticed that? Again, I told you, same for Rosetta Stone. Perhaps that everything we've talked about so far is talk to people. You want a 3-2 or 6-4 house? I don't own apartments yet. Now, let's go. Talk to people. Here's a source. This was here. We showed house. That is a thing that we posted on social media. A particular house when we bought this one, there was a gentleman. Unfortunately, he has dementia. He owns a larger portfolio, and his daughters reached, and we few houses from the family. Really, this is super nice, super. And I love enjoying this particular person because he's in memory care. But I've enjoyed learning about this. It was a brilliant investor. He owns all over the place. Even with the sisters, we started asking questions. Tell us about your family. What they were brought up investing, and they talked about all the say. So there's this ender. He's at the end. In fact, fortunately, he's dealing with memory care. I say all this to say it's an example of someone who lived a lot of success. And they're at a different stage. And of course, a particular person is starting to sell off some, really the family. But can you part somebody who's experienced saw their problem? And I want to put that up there. What's the exact thing I'm doing here? Obviously because he's in memory care. But we bought these because he needed to upload them. And that was because a lot of people they're switching strategy. I mean, they don't risk anymore. They got 100 houses. I don't know what they're talking about. They can take houses and cash flow and live it up large, greater than I can live it. Fun fact: you called the family back because this was the one with back from the what box with him. So I called back because they were telling us more real estate. They had the problem was they cannot sell with that because the rest of the portfolio is how they're paying. But yes, breaking my heart. They were texting us, sending us photos. Can you get your G's look at this? Because we're getting quotes. We don't have the money to set up houses because we've got to pay for memory care. That broke my heart. And for the weeks up until I went to what, saying no. And I reached out. We're talking now about, tell you what we can do. I eventually would love to have these houses that you've already said that you're not on down. But you have a problem that you need cash will support memory care. If I become your tenant and I lease those properties from you, would you allow me to master lease? Or how we can write the note, Reggie opened my eyes about how to structure it in such a way where in essence we're financing at a fair price, an interest rate, and then I make a commitment which I will hold to that I will refinance the properties unless something catastrophic happens until he no longer needs memory care. So it's again, find people. And when I say don't be selfish, don't ship with someone because you want. Here's a little tidbit. There's a lot of folks that label themselves as vendors. Their house is a matter. I want to learn what they know. Like I want to know what they know. So that's a shameless plug. We'll keep going. But for somebody that's had a successful career, you might pick up a house or two. Sure. But you know what's more valuable than houses is what they know. So, yeah.
This property here, I'll move fast, nearing the end. Church friend, of course, church friend. Problem. Their family was growing. Tracy was pregnant with their third. This was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. One of the in-laws lived with them. They ran out of room, and they were under contract a new property. They moved quick. They needed to move and need to make repair the property which needed. And so at church one day, I even bring it up. Usually, hey, honey, how's your life going? How's everything going? He's like, man, I'm fine. I really need my house. I'm so overwhelmed because it needs so much. Mom lives with us. Tracy's pregnant. The boys can't share a new baby brother this coming. I was like, where do you live over in Beverly Park? Can I see you? I buy houses. It's like, you do? You buy houses. Are you a real estate agent? I said, no, I'm a buyer of houses. So, I just buy houses. That's what I do. I have houses. I'm a real estate investor. I buy houses. And he said, seriously? I was like, maybe. We ended up giving him the payment on his next house in cash. Ended up taking this property subject to for 5 years, 4 years, and then refinanced. Took the properties to for $92,000. $270 was the ARV on it. We put $15,000 into it. But what you do will deal. This thing is, I didn't tell him what I said. It's a problem to me in confidence as a church, and I'm really struggling. Family has an issue. Just telling you just because I need somebody. Thing is, I had a solution, and I was not aimed to let him know. I had a solution. You should be unashamed, broadcasting to the world that you. But Aaron never bought a house before. That is the worst thing. I'll tell you what. Tiger Woods started golfing at the age of 3 somewhere. Right? He always grew up telling people that he was a golfer. Right? Now, Jordan, on the other hand, didn't start golfing until middle school. But he watched Tiger his entire childhood because his dad was a fanatic, loved watching golf. But in middle school, he started telling everyone, I'm a professional golfer. He had never golfed a day in his life. Never golfed a day in his life, but he loved watching Tiger. He told everyone, professional golfer, even in middle school, straight, started telling people. Speed, he's won all PGA championships. He took the identity of a professional golfer before he became a professional golfer. You become in which you are. Right? We're not talking things that are complicated issues here. We're talking about estimate, right? You become in which you identify as a wealthy person, you will be a wealthy person. If you identify as someone that owns and manages dozens, hundreds, millions, you will become such a person. Align your life with yourself, which you wish to become.
So here's the things too, some things that I don't have houses for, things that we're doing that I want to point that way. Then you went in here, right down to your that the thing that is limiting you is money. Everybody write that down. Check this out. If you are in the room, your business is lending money to other people, would you raise your hand if you would like to identify? I'll point that out there. If you feel limited on money, you don't have to sell. I remember when I had my conversation about that. I was trying to sell the house. Now, you money, correct me if I say this wrong. You don't need to sell the house. You need to become the person that trusts, respects, that they want the money to, and then obviously put that with a good deal. But don't let me be the reason that you're not out of the house. Know that I'm just a school teacher. That's what I'm not even that anymore. I just retired. But like you don't read million. I was not. Back to the slideshow. So this is what striking. When I buy a house, I'm scared. I'm not good at cold knocking. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to tell you something I don't do. But I knock on the door on both the door in front and the door in back. It's like, the guy just bought this house. You know who I am, so you know I'm a real person. This is not a corporation, because everybody hates that word. It's not a corporation. I'm just Josh. My card, it's got my cell phone. If you see any mischief here, anything goes wrong with this house, I want you to know that I'm here to take care of it. I am planning on renting it, but you'll never have a problem. If you do, you call that number, and I'm coming. Now, your house is so nice. Did you buy it? We didn't live together. I just started about the house, and I'm like, seriously, I do it all the time. Have I bought a house next door? No, Eric did. Makes me so. I started doing it, so I'm copying him. I call that circle knocking. Knock around it. Tailors. I have yet to actually pick one up that I can direct trace to. I am starting where I'm sending direct mailers into it, because I noticed in Coweta County, there are definitely kind of ratios and trends. My house in the 3 neighborhoods, which tells me massive opportunities of people I haven't met yet, and so I'm paying attention. We are about number 3. Number 4 days on the market. House has been on the market for this. I know I got 50-50. I'm like Hamilton. I'm going to shoot my shot or something stupid low. Facebook Marketplace. Has anybody bought on Facebook Marketplace?
Richard and Silken.
Yeah. Richard Silken. Anybody else? Super cool. I haven't done it yet. Craigslist. I'm just telling you guys, there's another thing I haven't done yet that I'm paying attention to. I'm trying to get it on that. Real estate agents, again, elevator pitch at closing. You don't have an agent to do this. You can close, and for some that have there to the house, not pack it close. But I don't pack it close. Number 1, because I haven't been in the game long enough. I'm not gonna lie. I was in school, that elementary boy, that tall high school band is at a closing table. I'm still at that phase. But also, I'm sitting across from this other real estate agent going, I know you know, whatever. Did you know houses? I see me behind this house from you. Was this a good transaction like this? Right, you see how I paid it. I'm your go-to. I'm your boy. So just keep at it, because those are tools that pay off, and they pay off pretty well.
Absolutely. I have my own, especially while I was a boy. I'm not as active these days as I was even two years ago. If you don't know me, you don't know my life is right now. A 2.5-year-old, and a 4.5-year-old. My life is burdened with the lack of sleep And
We just got you here tonight.
it's a miracle. My dad is watching my 4.5-year-old tonight, and I love the fact that it's keeping our son until I get home to take it over. Right. Back when we were very active, this is what we did on Zillow, and we would search for these things. 2 1s with 1,000 square. What can you do with a 2 1 with a 1 with a more? Add 2 things. Bedroom and bathroom. That's what we do over and over and over again. Because you get a lot for a 2 than a 2 1. Search for an apartment, in-law suite, unfinished basement. What can you do? What can you do with these things? Rent. We would do that. Rent, right? Especially with my suite, because a lot of times they label an additional dwelling unit ADU. What can you get with ADU? You can get a new rental property. That's for 1. A 2 for. Yeah. 2 for there. You get 2 rentals for the price of. What are utilities? What are y'all on the list? Or just call ask. 4 years ago, I called Noonan Utilities service gas, water, and I called them and I said, "Would it be weird if I asked you for the shut-offs? Not just how many the property addresses of the houses you've shut off. Like we've never been at. It's like, well, well, how are you going to help them? I want to help them. Okay. They sent me a list. 600 addresses, properties that recently had their water shut off. Of that, it even included properties that shut off for more than 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 90 days, 20 days. But still, the house wasn't sold. The house was still owned. It was still habited. What do with that? Well, I broke it down. I went for the money. And I went into those houses to the door. I bought from knocked on the gate. Would you want to sell your house? Literally did the build quick method, knocked on the door, steps, sat and opened the door and said, "Hey, my name's Eric. I've been walking around the neighborhood. I love the neighborhood. I'd love to buy a house here. Do you know anyone that's interested in selling?" I probably knocked 70 yours. I ended up buying 3 of them. Rent signs. What would you do with a 4 rent sign? Anybody want to answer mine if you call it a 4 rent sign and that's to buy the house? Tired landlord. Yes, tired landlord. You're going to find that tired landlord. You call them, "I do not want to rent your house. I do want to own your house." Or, "I do want to rent your house. Sublet it." Right? So there's 2 different tracks you can see there, but just call. They pick up the phone and say, "Hey, how long has your property been rented for?" Because maybe it's listed on Zillow and you don't know how long it's been rented or for rent for. As to figure out what their point is, try to, and then ask sellers at the closing table, like Josh, if they have any other houses for sale. I have one house that way, not multiple, and I have bought 2 houses next door to each other. Wilcox and Andrew.
I'm going to be able to say that.
And that happened about to your neighbors. Talk to your neighbors. And the other house that I from a neighbor was I went up to the neighbor house of the house on the door. I said, "Hey, do you want to have a landlord?" "Okay, can I have their information?" "Why?" "Oh, well, I have an encroachment. I think on their land. Your land." "Oh yeah, sure, here you go." Called them up. "Hey, do your tenants pay on time?" "No, they're late every single month." So I master released it. Now,
Just finishing up, this is the big takeaway. If you're curious what the nugget is, that I hope all the strategies, which are all still working, is I hope nobody walks over here is like, "Oh, John Eric, I mean, that's super awesome. I'm just a dude that's been in middle school for like 3 years. I just keep talking to people. I have a loud mouth. I just get about it. You got to find your thing and be your personality. But correct in saying if you're waiting for a market, write any offers, talking to people. You're getting people to come to you. They're never coming to you, and you'll be here next month, and you'll be in the exact place. You got to get out and you got to talk to people. Because you got to TTP.
You got TTP, y'all. Haves and wants. Josh,
Yeah, we keep going.
Get on our Facebook group. We have a constituent group that offers a service that I think most of them know about. Alex makes, right? Been attending Dealmaker, and she is a very talented and is offering services. One in the room. I've been talking with that, offering a package on Twitch on offering a turnover package of tenant move out. You don't need to be touched up, but you don't want to spend that $5 or $10,000 to turn over the repaint, but offering a special package. Please visit Allie in the networking section to talk about turnover packages, or even if you're looking to get your clients to repaint quick, just wall, like that, touch up on the trim, stuff like that. Allie is your go-to. Follow her on Facebook and Instagram. She's in very good picture video of what she does in her business. So, thank you. Did you want to say anything?
It's like approximately square minutes. Make it for you right now. You can talk more depth on your. It's just a good project, so just come by.
Thank you so much, Allie. All right, so join our Facebook group, y'all. We not as much as a lot of others out there. We try not to spam. That's like my mission in our Dealmaker group is to not spam you with a bunch of stuff. But please join our Facebook group and as well.
Just thank you guys for coming out. We normally have about, I think, last 40 rain get through traffic on a storm. That's super cool. So appreciate it. Make sure on the way out tables as well. Insurance as well. I don't know if you guys around recently had these guys. There he is. He's quoted out in my last one. Fantastic price. So other than that, Eric, you got anything else?
I don't. I want to thank you for being here tonight. You could have chosen anywhere to stay night, maybe even watch a Thursday night. But you chose to be here with us, learn and participate in real estate investing. More importantly, in yourself. I want you to continue to do that. Please encourage someone else to share with you at our next meetup in October. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Please visit Duke & Co. at the back table. How they can ask you. Absolutely. Did you ever put the selfie in front of our banner, lovely banner? Please do. Take a selfie.
Hey, I'm coming. I talked about
You're interested in buying a meat at the table.